Hey there, I'm Further Reading. Today we're going to talk about making steel. Steel is probably the best metal you can make but there are a couple of steps involved in its production. I'm going to go over what these steps are now. First of all, you need fuel. There are 3 ways to get fuel. First, you can burn wood in a furnace to make charcoal. Second, you can burn bituminous coal and 1 fuel in a smelter to create 9 units of coke, or you can burn 1 lignite and 1 fuel in a smelter to create 5 coke. Note that if you're using a magma smelter, you don't need to use the fuel. From this point forward, I'm just going to say what you need for a normal smelter, but keep in mind, if you're using a magma smelter, just reduce all of the fuel numbers by 1. The next step is to create iron bars. To get iron bars, there are 3 ores: hematite, limonite, and magnetite. You need to melt 1 of them at a smelter to produce 4 iron bars. The next step is to create pig iron. To get pig iron, you need to melt an iron bar and a flux stone and 2 fuel in a smelter this time. Flux stones are a special type of stone. You can find them all on the wiki, which I will link down below. Finally, you can make your steel. You take your 1 pig iron bar, combine it with 1 iron bar and an additional flux stone and 2 fuel to create 2 steel bars. In terms of automating it, I first would follow the guide on the wiki, which is shown here on screen, but after a while I start making some changes to this, mainly because I tend to use the fuel for other things as well, and also I tend to use a bunch of the different ores for melting iron. Usually you might have 2 or even 3 of these ores on your map. So I don't like sticking strictly to one type of ore for making the iron. So for example, here I've got 1 smelter. I focus just on making iron. I've got all of my work orders here. And all we're doing is if there's at least 8, then you make 8. That is going to create 32 iron bars. Then here in my steel smelter, you'll see for the pig iron bars, I am checking if there's at least 32 iron bars, if there's at least 32 flux and 32 refined coal. Refined coal is going to be charcoal or coke. So this is checking to see if there's enough to do both this order and the next order. Then for the steel order, we're checking if there's at least 16 iron, at least 16 pig iron, at least 16 flux, and at least 16 coal. So if all of these are true, it's going to do 16 make steel bars jobs, which is going to give you 32 steel bars. Note that these are both magma smelters. If you were using a normal smelter, you'd have to double the refined coal requirement because it's going to need twice as much. 1 to fuel the reaction and 1 to add carbon into the iron in order to create the pig iron and in order to create the steel. And I don't necessarily do a activate based off of the previous one. I just let them both run. But yeah, depending on what you are getting and the kind of numbers you're seeing and the rate at which you want your iron to be used, you might want to mess around with those numbers. And there you have it. It sounds more complex than it is, and it's quite easy to get automated once you have a good supply of the raw materials. I hope you found this guide useful. If you want to watch any more guides like this, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can comment down below asking any questions. And you can also find me on Twitch where I stream Dwarf Fortress 4 days a week. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.